What's up, guys? Back at it again today. We got this Game Boy Advance in Indigo. It's a little bit scratched up and it's missing a battery cover, so today we're going to do a full shell replacement. The first thing we'll need to do is remove these 6 tri-wing screws from the back of the device, as well as an additional Phillips head inside of the battery compartment. After you have all of those screws removed, we can remove the back cover to give us access to the internals. The next thing we can do is remove the L and R button as well as the side bumpers here just to get them out of the way. Next, we can disconnect the ribbon cable. We can just use a spudger or something to flip up these 2 tabs on the side. Make sure to pull them all the way out so it doesn't get stuck. I don't actually think I had mine all the way out because when I got it out, it kind of popped out violently. So try to do a better job than I did. Next, we can remove these 2 Phillips screws that hold down the board. After we have those screws removed, we can just pull up the board by holding on to the game slot here. Next, you can just remove all the buttons and switches. Lastly here, we'll need to remove the old screen. We can use the ice tray technique and just wiggle everything back and forth. The old adhesive comes up pretty easily and you'll hear it crack. It's kind of satisfying. After we get up a corner, we can just get our finger under there or a spudger tool to help us in the removal. Okay, so we'll just get our spudger tool under there to help us out. My screen really didn't want to let go. I actually messed up the membrane a little bit. It ripped, but we got it out just as well. If your screen holds on like this, just take your time. You don't want to break anything, but it should come out after a little bit of wiggling. This is where I broke the membrane. I just peeled the rest off the screen. We don't actually need this old dirty thing, so we can just throw it out. And that's what your screen looks like under that scratched faceplate, or lens that is. Today, the replacement shell we're going to be using is eXtremeRate. We got this gold one. It comes with everything you need. We got the spudger tool and 2 screwdrivers as well as replacement buttons. And here is what the shell looks like. It really doesn't do justice under this light and with the plastic on, but this thing is super gold. We also have the replacement parts for the back cover as well as a new screen and all the adhesives we'll need. We got also new membranes and screws. So this is kind of a good idea of what the shell looks like. It's in this gold. I really wanted something different. I have a Game Boy in every color, but I don't have one in gold. It also comes with this little piece here to cover the extension port, which I think is a nice added touch. I also like how they painted inside of the battery compartment itself. I don't actually know if this is paint. I don't know what it is, but I think it looks really good. The buttons come on this little tray here, kind of like a 3D model, so we'll just pop everything apart before getting to the next step. Everything comes apart super easy, and it's kind of satisfying popping all the pieces apart. I'm going to be removing the springs from the old L and R button and moving them over to the new L and R button, but you are provided new springs inside of the box. After that step, we can just get all the buttons back into place. I like to test out the L&R button just to make sure they feel good. I also like to use the old springs just to get that authentic feel, but I'm sure the new springs work just as well. Next, we'll get the A and B button into place. I really have a good time working on old Nintendo stuff. Everything seems to go together really good, and you can't really mess up. Everything has a specific spot to go. We'll just get those bumpers into place. I'm also going to be using the old start and select buttons. I really didn't want to go with the new plastic ones, although those work pretty good too. I like the membrane feel. You are provided this 3M adhesive for the screen, but I'm going to be doing something a little less permanent because I do plan on putting an IPS screen or something like that in the future. Next, we'll get our new membranes in. Again, everything has a specific spot to go and you just place these on top of the pins. Next, we can get our old board into place and the ribbon cable attached, and then pop down these clips. You want to just take your time with this step. It's really easy to mess up ribbon cables, but if I didn't, you probably won't. So I'll just use the spudger tool here to get the clips down. After we have everything in place, we can just replace those Phillips screws that hold down the board. I like to work on top of plastic when using something that I feel like will get scratched up, and this gold plated Game Boy Advance shell here seems like it might. Next, we'll get the back plate prepped. We can just use the old one as a guide. We'll need to set up the battery compartment as well. So we'll just use these two small Phillips screws here to get that into place. If you feel any resistance, you should probably stop because everything goes together pretty easy here. We can just get the battery compartment together. You just take this little piece, slide it in, and then clip it down, and it snaps right into place. And then we can remove our back cover here. I really love the way this looks. It does pick up fingerprints, so we'll need to give this a polish after we're done. The little battery thing here goes into place super easy. We'll just use the spudger tool to get it into position, and it snaps right into place. Next, we can replace the power switch and back cover. When removing the adhesive from the back of the lens, you want to make sure just to remove the adhesive and not the actual lamination like I did. So after I fixed that, I got the adhesive off and put it into place. I'm really not the best with lining things up, but it's not just good, it's good enough, right? After I feel like I got that lined up good enough, I'll remove the protective plastic. This is always the most satisfying feeling. You can just see all those fingerprints it's picked up from working on it, so we'll give this thing a polish before we check it over. Next, we'll put on this sticker here they provided, but we can also remove the old sticker with the use of a hair dryer, but I just want to use this one to remember where I got it from. Overall, I'm super happy with how this project went. It went together super easy. I got a 10% coupon code with everything I used in this video, as well as anything else you might need for your retro gaming projects. I hope you liked this video and stay tuned for the next one.